Good morning, everyone. Quite a view, quite a beautiful place to wake up. In the mountains, the pine trees. And this little river down here. And we have a little kitty. Alright, so the plan for today is to go back the road we came from. And then, instead of taking the normal road to Râșnov, we're gonna take a bit of a mountain road that has been very recently tarmacked. At least that's what I know about it. It may not be all tarmacked. But we're gonna take that road. It goes somewhere up in the mountains. And we'll see what we get to see up there. I've never been on it, but we'll find out together. So I'll have a bit of breakfast, get on the bike, and then we'll get going. Come on.
And the journey home begins. Now for the journey home, I have planned an alternate route. It's gonna be about 215 kilometers. We should be good for fuel, probably stop on the way and fill up again. We're gonna have a bit of mountain road, proper mountain road, I think, at least in the satellite imagery it looks like mountain road. And then at some point we're gonna join the main road to Bucharest and see if we can keep up with fast-paced traffic on this little 200. But now I get to enjoy this gorge once again, with the river to one side, rocks on the other. I don't know, I think they're about 20-30 meters tall. Trees on the top. I had no idea this was here. This is the kind of stuff you can find if you just get on your bike and ride. Just look at a map, choose a destination, get on your bike, fill up the tank and ride. Who knows what you can find. Weather is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if we're gonna have any rain today. Bit of a roadblock. Bit of a cow roadblock. Well, I see some dark clouds yonder. Let's hope we don't get rained on. The weather has been holding out pretty nicely up until now. The weather forecast doesn't say anything about any rain. If we can get through this pass and on the other side of the mountain before any rain comes in, we should be okay. I think we're supposed to go up that road, straight into those dark clouds. Now I could go around them, but I'm not gonna, because I really want to see the road I've mapped out and see how it is. I'm really curious to see how it is, to see what kind of views I can see up there. And I also have my rain gear with me, so if the rain starts, I can put my rain gear on. It won't be any kind of problem. Let's get a move on. Bit of a late morning start. It's 1 o'clock. And I don't want to get home at after dark. So we're gonna have to start making some proper time. Now, one thing you have to remember when you come out off of a dirt road and back onto pavement, take it easy in the corner so you clean your tires of mud, or else you might slip. And we're gonna make a right here. Now I think we're okay. The clouds are over there and we're going over there. Yeah, clear skies where we're going. Isn't this just absolutely beautiful? Small, quiet country road through the hills. Quaint Romanian mountain village. Now this area, if you want to look it up on Google Maps or something like that, it's called Piatra Craiului. Piatra means stone. It's basically a big stone up here in the mountains. As you can see, even the mountains themselves, they're extremely rocky. And here you can find a lot of pathways and a lot of trails, I think they're called. A lot of mountain trails that are pretty well marked, and you can have a lot of fun exploring these mountains. And the trails are marked so you won't have any problem getting lost. Now I want to get past this car because we're gonna enter a beautiful bit of scenery. Right here. It says tax, but nobody to take our money. Check out this road, guys. Whoa, this is prettier than it looked in the pictures. I don't know if the GoPro is doing it any justice. Check out this road. Have to be careful of the blind corners, but otherwise beautiful piece of tarmac. Woohoo! This is the nice part about having the 16-inch wheels. These transitions from left to right feel really good on a bigger tire. They feel so natural. And if somebody says you can have fun on a motor road with a little scooter, oh, they're so wrong. I am having one of the best days of the year right now, and considering I've ridden the Pan America this year, this is saying a lot. Come on, little Donnie, let us enjoy this road. Well, a bit wet here. You have to be wary of the wet patches. It's very easy to get carried away on a road like this, and you enter a corner that's always in the shadow and the tarmac is wet, and it's very easy to slip. What if you're wary and take it not necessarily really slow, but at a medium pace? If you attack these corners at a medium pace, you should be just fine. Let's see where this road taking us. Up into the mountain. Absolutely breathtaking. Whoa! Hold your lane, buddy. Like I've said, you have to be wary of the blind corners. Otherwise, the asphalt is great. Doesn't have any potholes. The scenery is amazing. Very light traffic considering it's a Sunday. A lot of fun. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. I don't want to go at 20 kilometers an hour. Come on. I want to have fun. Let's hope he doesn't make a right. Nope. Yes. We're going alone. Yeehaw! And now the road starts climbing. Let's get up into these mountains. 10% grade. Come on, Donnie. Give me speed. Now, joking aside, he's handling the climb really well. Look at us. And this is some proper climbing here. No problem, no stress. This is the good part with the 200. It has a lot more torque low down and you can really feel it on these climbs. There's definitely no problem of overheating considering it's 10 degrees outside. So the engine is getting plenty of cool air to cool itself down. Whoa. So it's having no issues climbing this. At a pretty respectable speed. Actually, I can't go any faster because of the turns. But the climb, I don't know if the GoPro picks it up, and I'm sure it doesn't because climbs never look too impressive on a camera, but believe me, this is a decent climb. 10% grade is nothing to sneeze at. And I'm not even maxing out the throttle. I'm just climbing half throttle, just letting it climb easily. Now this is it's a bit away from the touristy part. There are a few accommodations around here, but they're quite away from the touristy part down in the valley. And you can tell. It's more of a wild scenery. Just look at it. Absolutely stunning. And the autumn scenery with the leaves, the red leaves down on the ground next to the road, and some are still up into the trees. Just look at this, just look at this. Riding through here on a chilly November morning or afternoon. It's 1 o'clock, so it's more of an afternoon. It's nice riding these roads with a bike rather than a car because it's a narrow road, so you don't have any trouble with cars coming the other way. You can easily get to one side. You don't have to slow down, you don't have to stop to make way. And up we go. We're gonna go up there. Whoa. Come on, Donnie. $200 is too small, my ass. You can do it, boy. Oh, careful on the wet leaves. And now switch back up there. Just look at the angle. Nice and slow, I don't want to slip. Isn't this just breathtaking? This is why I like riding off the beaten path. Don't take the main road. Find yourself a nice little side road. and you're gonna have a lot of fun. And the tarmac is really awesome. By the looks of it, this used to be a gravel road, but putting tarmac on it is just awesome. The only thing you have to be wary of is the switchbacks, because sometimes they're in the shadows, and now you have the autumn leaves. The tarmac is wet in the corners, the leaves are on the ground, and it is a little bit slippery. But here we are on the plateau. Isn't this just beautiful? Just beautiful. And now we're gonna ride the plateau and come out somewhere on the other side over there and join the main road. When I got off the dirt road, I could have just made a right and that's the road we're gonna join. But why do that? Why miss out on all of this? I mean, it's a Sunday. I don't have to be at work. Why not just enjoy this beautiful scenery and enjoy this beautiful road? I think we're at something like 1500 meters elevation, and you can feel it. It's a bit, the cold feels different here, but it's pleasant. It actually is properly pleasant. Whoa, tight corner. Climbing a little bit more. Now, considering we're at elevation, I honestly don't feel any lack of power. I was expecting to feel maybe just a little bit lack of power because of the elevation, but no, everything is fine. The engine pulls strong. The brakes are up to the job. Now the black cloud is basically just above us, but let's hope we miss the rain, because over there where we're going we have clear skies and a clear view of the mountains. Isn't this just awesome? Now this is my first time on this road, but it's probably not gonna be my last, considering just how beautiful it is. So it's road 730, Romanian County Road 730, in case you want to ride this road. DJ 730. Have we reached the summit? I think we have. Is this the summit? I think so. I find it amazing how pleasant the temperature is up here in November. Just look at that. Yep, we're climbing. We're gonna start descending down into the valley. Now we had a gnarly climb. Now we have a gnarly descent, just as steep as the climb was. Now we get to try out the engine brake and the brakes. I'm careful of the wet tarmac because I'm still on the original tires, and I really don't like how these tires handle the wet tarmac. They are a little bit slippery, so I do have to concentrate a little bit. That's why you have to ride the road like this. It's very narrow for cars. I think we're on the north face because the roads are pretty wet. Would have liked a little bit more sunshine. That would have been nice. But I think we're gonna have sunshine on the rest of the road, on the rest of the trip home. Come on. Oh, dry tarmac. The fun begins once again. Dry tarmac. Dry tarmac and a flowing road. Slow it down, guys. Give me some room. We're basically riding on top of a mountain here. We are gonna descend down into the valley, but for the time being we are riding the top of the mountain, or almost the top. Still, it's extremely enjoyable and extremely pleasant. Kiss that apex, power out, hard on the brakes. I have no idea where that road goes, but it looks fun. But I have to check my maps when I get home. Kissing the apex. Hard on the brakes. Reel in the speed, tuck it in. You know, for a little city scooter, it handles just fine. The advantage is it's very flickable. So on these tight corners, it's quite easy to flick it from one side to the other and enjoy yourself. I think we're about to join the main road. Yep. We're gonna join the main road and down into the valley into Bran, and then we're gonna cross the mountain into Plateau and then descend to Bucharest on National Road number 1, one of the most congested roads in the country. Mainly it's a 2-lane, actually a 4-lane road, 2 lanes for each way, and we're gonna see if we can keep up with traffic, with high-speed traffic. People coming from the mountains and going home after a weekend away. Slippery here in the shade, and up there's the main road. Then we're gonna use the main road to descend down into the valley below. Basically, we're descending into Transylvania for just a little bit and then crossing back into Wallachia. Firstly crossing to the Prahova Valley, the Prahova River Valley, and then descending to Wallachia and to Bucharest. And on to the main road. Oh, I don't like these wet patches. Wet on a corner. Now this is where I wished I had my Michelins on the scooter. But to be honest, considering I'm taking them a little bit slower, the stock tires have been... I had no hard stopping moments, let's say it like that. No, if I test the grip with the brakes, they actually hold pretty well. But it's just me, I don't know. I don't trust these tires in the wet. Now the sad part is we're gonna descend on the shaded part of the road. Because this is the north face, it's a lot of shade, so the tarmac is gonna be wet. I have to be careful because in the corners it's gonna be wet. Like, so you have a bit of sunshine, it's dry, and then back into wet. Oh, well managed. Like I said, we're not in a hurry, we're just here to enjoy ourselves. Now I'm really glad they repaved this bit of road, because a few months ago when I came down here, this was absolutely horrible. but oh my god, just look at that scenery. Isn't it just beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous. The scenery through here has always been amazing. This is a mountaintop road, so we're not descending at the moment, we're just riding the top of the mountain. The road snakes its way on the top of the mountain, and you can see a valley on the right side and a valley on the left side, so you're constantly being bombarded with extremely beautiful scenery. And now, considering we have sunlight, it just makes everything 10 times better. You can properly see the geography of the place because of the sunlight and the shadows. Just look at it, all the little houses on the hilltops. Absolutely beautiful. And this winding road, if you want to check this road out, it's European Road 574 between Râșnov and Rukar. Actually between Bran and Rukar, because Bran is before Râșnov as we're going, and Rukar is behind us. This is actually called the Rukar-Bran corridor. And it's a very important thoroughway through Romania. It's a very old road, a very old route. Oh, now we're back in the shade, so we have to reel in the speed because we don't want to do something stupid. Just look at it. We're basically on top of the mountain, and we see valleys to both sides. Downhill and slow it down. Lean on these brakes, lean on the tires, get ourselves out. I think the next switchback is in the shade. Oh yeah. Earlier braking because, like I said, let's be safe, let's not be sorry. Let's make this an enjoyable trip, not one of those stories of let me tell you how I fell off my bike. There will be no falling happening today. And I hope those weren't famous last words. Oh, just isn't that beautiful? Find the dry patch. It's always a bit safer to look for the dry patch in these shaded parts. Sometimes you can find a dry patch. Finally, another motorcyclist. He was busy looking on his phone. What is having? Oh, an NC700? Yeah, I think so. Now we're descending into the valley. You can feel the temperature start to rise a little bit. And to Moeciu. Oh, the temperature is rising quite a bit. I felt like a warm gust of air hitting me. Okay, what is it doing? Okay. Yeah, well, you don't want to mess with a cow when you're on two wheels. It's best to avoid them. Second cow of the day. Let's hope this isn't a common occurrence, because I really don't like cows on the road. They can really hurt you. If they get properly mad, they can really hurt you. Now we've just entered Bran, and let's see if we can see the Bran castle, because it should be visible from the road, I think. I don't remember, having been to the castle in quite a long time. It should be somewhere around here. Where is it? Come on. And there it is. There's the Bran castle. On top of a hilltop, overlooking the valley. If you're in the area, please go visit it, because it's a beautiful castle on the inside. And pretty well preserved castle. Only thing is, it's a very touristy section. So a lot of touristy things here. Yeah, so the problem is basically a pedestrian crossing, and it's a very touristy area, and you have on the left side shops, and on the right side the access to the castle. So people are going back and forth quite a lot, and you have to stop to yield. Souvenirs and tourist traps. Yep. Very touristy. Come on. Let's get a move on. I'm not here to do tourist stuff, I'm here to enjoy scenery. Now we're gonna go on to Rushnov, and then hang a right and climb that mountain range and get into Predal. And over yonder on the hill you can see the Rushnov fortress. It's not a castle, it's some kind of fortress. Again, very old stuff. You can visit it. If you come in this area, you can visit the fortress, you can visit the Bran castle. There are quite a lot of stuff to visit around here, but we're not gonna go to the fortress, because we're gonna exit stage right and onto Predal, 21 kilometers, and Bucharest, 160 kilometers. And as you can see, we are heading back into the mountains. After a short stint in Transylvania, we're going back into the mountains, and then we're gonna head down into Bucharest. I've always liked this bit of road, because here it's relatively flat and straight, but you can see you're heading straight into the mountains, and you know it's gonna get very squiggly, with a lot of turns and a lot of beautiful scenery. It's like when you're on this section, you prepare yourself, because it's flat here, but you know where you're heading. You can see you're heading up into the mountains. You're getting yourself all worked up, getting ready for all those twisties. Mental preparation. And as soon as you start getting closer and closer to the mountains, you start to see switchbacks appearing on the GPS, and straight into switchbacks. And the road surface is dry. Awesome. I just wish this guy would be a little bit quicker. This is a pretty decent climb, and as you can see, we are very easily keeping up with traffic. It's actually slowing us down a little bit, but it is what it is. I don't think we have a chance to get past him very easily. There is room on the central part of the road for both cars and me to pass this guy, but I don't want to be that kind of motorcyclist who basically forces other people off the road just so he can make a pass. Like I said, we're not in a hurry. We're here to enjoy the scenery, and what a beautiful scenery it is. Climbing through the forest. I think after this switchback we might have an opening. Yep, come on. It even has passing power. And I didn't even go over the double lines. Woohoo! Now we're moving. Tight left-hander. Chuck it in. Feeding the power. And out the other side. Accelerating to the next one. So if you're wondering if you can keep up with traffic on a mountain road, well, wonder no more. We are coming up, gaining on cars, and actually passing them. With just 12 horsepower going uphill. So would more power be nice? Yeah, sure. Is it necessary? Not really. What would be nice would be some better tires. But soon, very, very soon, we will have some Michelins on Donnie, and I think then we can unlock the full potential of this little scooter. I can't wait to see how it handles on some Michelins. Oh, getting a little bit chilly up here. And we're climbing, we're climbing. I don't know my altitude, but I would really love to know. Maybe I'll look it up and put it in the video on screen. But it feels we're pretty high. My ears are popping. These tight little switchbacks, right, left, and then we're gonna go straight into another right. Beautiful, just beautiful. And we're about nearing the end of our climb. I'm gonna start the descent into the valley. Bucharest. Translation: the cold stream. Once again, very inspirational village names here in Romania. We have the bridge over the Dâmbovița, the cold stream. People that name villages in Romania really have some proper inspiration for some names that really get you thinking about life. And the descent begins as we get out of Bucharest. Now it would have been nice to have some clear road up ahead, because the tarmac is dry and we can start motoring. Now we're gonna get in a couple of kilometers. We're gonna join the Prahova Valley traffic jam, because it's a traditional traffic jam here in Romania. GPS says, Google Maps says we're gonna be an hour delayed because of this traffic jam. But I think old Donnie has a few tricks up his sleeve to get us home quickly. Well, that's a pretty big traffic jam. I think it's about 10 kilometers of traffic jam. I knew going into this that we're gonna see a lot of traffic on the Prahova Valley Road, but I didn't want to miss this scenic parts. And plus we're on a little city scooter, so I think we can filter traffic just fine. So So it's currently 2 o'clock, 10 past 2. And GPS says we have another 3 hours and 19 minutes for 157 kilometers. So 157, I honestly say we're gonna do it in 2 hours, not 3 hours and 17 minutes it's saying now. So I'm gonna say we're gonna be home. It's 11 past 2 at about 4:15. Sometimes between 4:15 and 4:30, because all I need is another quick fuel stop, a splash and dash, and 150 kilometers we can easily cover them in 2 hours, because we're gonna start getting out of the mountains and the roads are gonna start straight, and we're gonna be able to average 80-90 kilometers an hour. Because 2 days on the road, it's high time we got home. Wanna go home and see the missus. And brakes. Here is the traffic. Let's start doing scooter things. Pardon me, coming through, pardon. Let's get 2 more motorcyclists. And this is sketchy, but I want to join them. I'm not sitting around in this traffic jam. That's why I ride on 2 wheels. I don't sit in traffic. I'm sorry. Ooh, 911 Turbo S. Stuck in traffic. Such a shame. So I don't know. That thing has 500-600 horsepower. Well, it can just sit there and I'll use my little 12 horsepower to get home. Probably gonna make it home way before he does. Thank you, sir. Now we're pretty much out of the traffic. We're heading out of the valley. It should be, if I remember correctly, 2-lane road from now on. So now we can start putting the hammer down and start making some time home. Okay, this is like this. Or it's not yet 2 lanes per direction. But at least the traffic is behind us and clear skies ahead. I'm longing for a nice warm shower when I get home and some relaxation. And as you can see, we can keep up with traffic no problem. Constant 100 doing the ton, as some would say. So we're finally out of the valley onto the 2-lane road, heading to Ploiești and then Bucharest. Now I was planning a fuel stop in Ploiești, but we still have over half a tank and only 100 kilometers left to go, so I don't know. I can either push it and keep the speed up and get home quicker, but I have to stop for fuel, or I can go at 80 to 90 kilometers an hour and fuel up when we get home. I don't know. But in terms of holding its own on the road, no problem. 90 kilometers an hour is a decent speed to cruise at. I think I'm gonna see. We're gonna keep it at about 90 and see how the fuel looks when we get to Ploiești. I'll decide then if I fuel up or if I push it to Bucharest. It's not a problem anyway. There are fuel stations on the way, so even if I don't fuel up in Ploiești, I could fuel up before Bucharest, so it ain't no real big problem. Now we're on the outskirts of Ploiești, and up ahead is the fuel station where I was planning to fuel up, but we have 74 more kilometers to go until we get home, and I still have 3 bars of fuel left. So I think I'm gonna wing it and see how far can I get. Maybe I can make it home with this fuel and fuel up when we get home. because the speed have been constant 90 kilometers an hour cruising speed, but it seems to like it at that speed, and I'm curious to see the fuel consumption. So fuel stop I was planning, blowing straight past it, and let's see how far we can get. I do have fuel stations on the way, so there's no problem in case the fuel light comes on. But I'm curious to see the remaining 73 kilometers, can we do it on what fuel is left in the tank? I think we can make it.
A few moments later.
And we're back where it all started, on the ring road of Bucharest. The fuel light has just come on. We have about 28 kilometers to home, which makes it 27 kilometers to the closest fuel station. So needless to say, we're gonna push it. We're gonna push it all the way home and fuel up when I get home and get the total fuel consumption for the entire trip. Now, right on the outskirts of Ploiești, what I didn't film was me taking a bit of a 15-minute break because I was starting to freeze a little bit, and I decided, why try to push hard through the cold when I have all my winter gear with me? So I broke out the winter gloves, my heated vest is on, and as you can probably see, I have my blanket on, and I can say I am extremely... Hold your line, dumbass. And I can say I'm extremely comfortable, nice and toasty. My heated vest is warming up my core. The blanket on my legs is basically trapping warm air from the engine around my legs area, so my legs are nice and toasty, and I am basically warmer than I was before, even though the temperature is going down because it's 4:45, so the sun is disappearing behind the horizon, and it's still November, so when the sun is not up, the temperature plummets. But with all this winter gear on, I'm extremely comfortable. I could ride like this for another couple of hours, no problem. But like I said, we're back on the ring road of Bucharest. Every time I leave, when I'm on the ring road, is a sensation like I'm going on an adventure. And every time I come back, when I'm back on the ring road, I get a sense of I'm arriving home. I'm just about there, only 25 kilometers left to go on this ring road. I'm almost home, almost made it. The adventure is over, and almost to the comfort of my own home. What I can say about the trip and about doing it with my little Symphony ST, considering now we're passing the 400 kilometer mark over this weekend, I can say that he's been a proper trooper, handled everything I've thrown at him, mountain roads, tiny, windy, narrow mountain passes, big high-speed roads. Handled everything with ease, without a fuss, without any kind of trouble. And considering it's November, it's very cold outside, I was extremely comfortable on him, plenty of leg room, the seat is nice and supportive for the long trip. I had plenty of space for all my gear under the seat, in the top box, and in the bag that's strapped to the passenger seat. I'm really happy with the way he performed on this long trip. Would have I been more comfortable on a big touring bike? Yes, of course I would. But this thing did just alright. It's just good enough that I would be happy to do many more trips on him without hesitation. So like I said, if you only own something like this and you think it's keeping you back because you can't go on your adventures, on your trips, you can't do the things you've been dreaming of and go see the places you've been dreaming of because it has a small engine and it's a little city scooter, just get on it and go. It can handle it no problem, and you will be pretty comfortable. You won't have any kind of issues while on the road. Like I said, it has power to even do some overtaking. Although with the fuel light on, I should really mind my speed. I don't want to run out of fuel here. How stupid would it be to run out of fuel a few kilometers from home? Now usually I do about 25 kilometers after the fuel light comes on, and of course I don't run out of fuel. Now when the fuel light came on, it said we had about 28 kilometers left, so that's 27 kilometers to the fuel station. So that's about 2 kilometers over what I usually consider my maximum distance on with my fuel light on. But considering I'm on the ring road and I'm going at a constant 78-80 kilometers an hour, my fuel consumption should be a lot lower than it is in the city. So I should be able to do a lot more than 25 kilometers with the fuel light on. And here we are getting off the ring road and entering the city. 4 more kilometers to go to the fuel station. Why isn't this guy not open to my... I have no idea what he was doing. He had a left turning lane and we're just sitting in the middle. Seriously, some drivers really should not be on the road. And when did... oh, bloody hell. This was supposed to be an accelerating lane. And they... ow! Damn it! Anyway. Stupid drivers and rough roads aside, we are entering Bucharest once again. Left yesterday, covered 420 kilometers through mountain roads, high-speed roads, whatever kind of roads you wish to imagine, even a little bit of dirt roads. And now we're getting back into the city. I hope you can still see anything because the GoPro in the low light is extremely crap, should we say. That's kind of why I didn't film any of the shenanigans that happened last night, because I do have a few pictures from the barbecue, but no filming. The GoPro was basically showing a black screen. It just didn't have enough light to work. So I'm hoping you can still see something. But we are a few kilometers away from our fuel station and there's a bus not yielding. Oh boy. I forgot how Bucharest traffic was. Now we're not stopping at this fuel station because this fuel station is too bloody expensive. We're going to a SoCar that's another kilometer down the road. My first traffic light in, I think, 400 kilometers? Yes, my first traffic light in 425 kilometers. Oh boy. Now we're definitely back in city traffic. It's nice how we managed to cover 226 kilometers on this fuel tank. And we still have a bit of fuel left. And I wasn't riding pretty economical, to be honest. I was pushing it. After we came out of the mountains, I basically, instead of riding at about 80 kilometers an hour, which I think is the most economical speed, I rode about 90, 95, 85, somewhere in that region, because I really wanted to get back into the city before I lost sunlight. Now, it's not a problem riding at night because I can see perfectly fine, and the headlight, this LED headlight, is just awesome. It lights up everything in front of you, and with the daytime running lights, people can see you very well. But I am a bit tired and I really didn't want to ride in the dark. And there's the fuel station. Just have to turn it around and start pumping some fuel into this gas tank, which is getting a little bit dry. And go. And right. Straight to my favorite fuel pump. So 226 kilometers, 0.9 on this fuel tank. Almost 7,000 kilometers, 69.96. Let's get pumping. Well, I think that's as full as it will ever get. Now let's see, 7 liters, 7.02. So 3.09. I don't know if you can see that. These are the two fuel stops. 291 on the first one, 309 on the second one. So about an average of 3 liters per 100 kilometers. Now let's pay and let's head home. And that has been it for this 2-day trip with a Sym Symphony ST, aka Donnie. In case you are all wondering, how can a little 169cc scooter handle a long distance trip up into the mountains in the freezing cold of almost winter, late autumn, November? Well, the answer is it can handle it just fine. Not a single problem, not a single care in the world. Just put fuel in the tank and off you go. If you have any other questions about the trip, about the scooter, please drop them down in the comments below. I'll try to answer everyone. And until next time, guys, thank you so very much for watching. If you've made it so far to the end of this second video, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it and hope to see you on my future trip. So until next time, guys, take care out there and ride safe. Goodbye.